my opponents have said that the growth of the world is a success because we have so many people. Also, they have said that saving the sick and dying people is a bad thing for the U.S. or for the whole world because we are adding to the population that we don't need. My partner and I have said that the overpopulation is a big deal and population control can fix that. Overpopulation can also cause less land, less jobs, and potentially losing natural resources like vegetation and other necessities. Overpopulation is a big deal and could put a burden on the whole world. Our final argument is one of the biggest issues in population control. The world getting overpopulated could really hurt the environment because we would need more natural resources, so we could eventually run out. As stated by New Nation, the world and its resources are being harmed and could end up running out because there are so many people that need the resources. According to Morgan Winters, a writer from Minnesota, often misunderstood, overpopulation is viewed as a problem of developing countries and that there are too many humans consuming the planet's resources. Because we are collectively using up the resources, we are collectively using up more resources than the planet can produce. Based on my research in overpopulation, energy costs will steadily rise. The poor will bear the brunt of the burden, as they always do in economic and industrial transitions. But innovation will balloon, and the dividends of increased innovation will grow. So by the environment getting affected, it's turning around and affecting the people on this earth as well. We think all of these reasons because they all talk about how the natural resources are deteriorating and how people's lives will worsen due to the increasing overpopulation. We think everyone needs to address the problem now. While we can stomach the sacrifice a solution requires. In fact, between 1999 and 2011, the world's population increased by 1 billion. At this rate, we will be running out of necessary resources in no time at all. That will eventually put a burden on the whole world. Believe it or not, the population of the world right now in 2014 is 7,149,824,823. The U.S. Census Bureau estimates by 2050 the world's population will be 9.2 billion people. We think this whole world will need to eventually have the population control. We are not saying we want to kill people by any means, but maybe putting a limit on how many kids you can have, such as what China does, or even putting a number on how many people can live in one specific area. I don't think anyone living on this earth wants to have a worse life just because we have too many people in the world. It's hard for everyone to think about having too many people. It's a hard subject to talk about, but we have to face the facts sooner rather than later.
My opponent has said our resource consumption rate is such that we will run out of resources to support our growing population. But we disagree. According to Philip Eben, a relief worker, the 20th century population boom was due to, again, decreased infant mortality rate and increased life expectancy. Previously, it was believed that spiraling birth rates in developing countries were to blame. Therefore, if we have the technology to sustain our population, resources aren't a problem. Again, because as technology is slowly getting more and more advanced, then by 2020, 2050, we might have the medical needs or the medical resources to be able to make life expectancy soar into the hundreds on a consistent basis. Or that maybe we can provide better farming environments for year-round growing, so then food is covered, life expectancy is covered, and while natural resources may still pose a problem, all of our other technology and all the other solutions that come of that will probably make up for it in the end. And again, to quote Peter Edson's memorable words, it's not that people suddenly started breeding like rabbits, it's just that they stopped dying like flies.
My opponents have said that overpopulation is a problem. And that land and farming stuff is running low and gonna run out. And that it's harder to find jobs and resources are running low. My teammates and I have said that a growing population is not the problem. China's one-child policy is no good, and the cost of minerals and other raw materials indicate that we are not running short of the resources humans use daily. We would also like to point out that hunger is not the issue. According to early Ellis, our ancestors survived without agriculture and relied only on hunter-gatherers to provide for themselves. The population was growing back then and they survived. With today's growing population, surviving is not an issue because of today's advancing technology and our agriculture. Conditions that sustain humanity are not natural, never have been. Since prehistory, human populations have used technologies and engineered ecosystems to sustain populations well beyond the capabilities of an unaltered natural ecosystem. This supports my claim because technologies and engineered ecosystems are what keep us alive and going. Hunger is not what the problem is. There's plenty of food in the world, it's just the way it's distributed that's what's causing the problem. Hunger is not the issue when it comes to keeping the world free from population control. We are right because it's not the amount of people that's the problem, it's how we use our resources. We do not need a population control policy, not now and not in the future. Early Ellis once said, there really is no such thing as a human carrying capacity. We are nothing at all like bacteria in a petri dish.
They say that hunger is not an issue, but we disagree because, as stated by the Food and Agriculture Organization, 21,000 people die from hunger every day. If you do the math, which I haven't yet because I'm not very good at math, but if you do the math, that would be a lot in a whole year. Therefore, we say that population control is needed because we are running out of those natural resources that everybody needs so that we don't have as much hunger.